to address some important conversations happening across the WNBA, including remarks made earlier this week by Nafisa Collier.
Nobody saw it coming when the WNBA commissioner allegedly got word of a routine advertisement and completely spiraled behind closed doors. What was supposed to be just another harmless Caitlyn Clark sponsorship spot suddenly detonated into internal chaos. With frantic phone calls, uncomfortable emergency meetings, and a noticeable stretch of strategic silence that said more than any press release ever could. The wild part is the ad itself crossed no lines, broke no rules, and played everything clean. What it really did was bruise egos and expose insecurities that had been simmering for a long time. Stick with this, because the real story isn't about what the commercial showed on screen, it's about what it exposed behind it, and the fallout reveals far more than the ad ever explicitly said.
This is one of the moments a lot of people has been waiting on. Of course, Caitlyn Clark now has her own brand logo with Nike, and everybody's been like, where's the love? Where's the rest of the love been? We've been very critical of Nike on this channel for that. I would have loved to have seen Caitlyn Clark say, you know what? I'm going to get away from my agent. I'm going to get away from Nike. I'm going to go with somebody else. Agent and brand representation for shoes.
This is one of those moments
athletic
people have been waiting on for a long time. Caitlyn Clark finally has her own Nike brand logo, and the immediate reaction everywhere has been, okay, but where's the rest of the love? That's something we've been openly critical of on this channel because the rollout always felt incomplete. Honestly, part of me wanted to see Caitlyn reach a breaking point and say, you know what? I'm stepping away from my agent, I'm stepping away from Nike, and I'm choosing someone else. Someone willing to fully commit to her vision when it comes to shoes, branding, and overall athletic representation.
You saw it in my statement, but I have the utmost respect for Nafisa and for every single player in our league. They are at the center of everything we do. I was disheartened to hear that some players feel the league and me personally do not care about them or listen to them. And if the players in the W don't feel appreciated and valued by the league, then we have to do better and I have to do better. We know how great these players are on and off the court, how much they mean to our league, our fans, and our communities. If they don't feel that, I will do everything I can to change that. No one should ever doubt how
Christmas Day was supposed to be untouchable, not in some warm, spiritual sense, but in the cold business reality where inboxes go quiet, phones stop vibrating, and executives convince themselves that a full year of chaos has politely agreed to take a 24-hour break. A day where no fires burn, no crises erupt, and everyone pretends the problems will still be there tomorrow, neatly wrapped and waiting.
Nike giving us a commercial, stirring up some buzz, giving us a potential release date, a time frame for when her shoe's going to come out, her signature collection already slowly starting to trickle out.
The WNBA's top brass was counting on exactly that kind of pause. A rare moment of silence after months of sky-high viewership, non-stop controversies, locker room tension, and online wars that felt more like celebrity beefs than basketball debates, where every headline came with fire attached, every take sparked outrage, and every quiet moment felt earned. So for them, silence didn't just feel welcome, felt like salvation.
So today, this is dropped on Christmas. They waited to Christmas. I assume this will probably come out during NBA basketball today. Caitlyn Clark's quote from Anywhere Nike ad features Travis Scott and the Kelsey brothers. They are in this ad. We're one step closer to Caitlyn Clark's signature shoe unveiling. But before that, the moment has arrives in 2026. Nike has released the first official spot centered around the women's basketball superstar.
The dream was simple. Let sports media obsess over football scores, holiday basketball matchups, and ugly Christmas sweaters instead of yet another women's hoops firestorm. Let the noise drift elsewhere for just one day. But at exactly 10 a.m., Nike kicked the door in and made it painfully clear that tranquility was never part of the plan.
Caitlyn Clark's first official Nike ad for her merchandise line for the CC logo with all of it dropped, and it is so good. And then they went and dropped a second one. They're both on her Instagram. I'm going to show you some of the first. First of all, it features some heavy hitters. Second of all, the way that it features so many places that were important to Caitlyn Clark is just so thoughtful and incredible. Her neighborhood in West Des Moines, the University of Iowa, the Indiana Fever, the New Heights spot, like everywhere. Let me show you.
This didn't come through league channels, team accounts, or any WNBA-controlled platform that could be softened, spun, or neatly explained away. Nike went straight to the public with their own slick, bold, completely unapologetic 30-second statement, putting Caitlyn Clark dead center, no disclaimers attached. In an instant, a quiet holiday morning turned into full-blown panic inside league headquarters. This wasn't just another sneaker promo. This was Nike making it clear they weren't asking permission anymore. They were setting the
Dick's
rules.
Sporting Goods giving Caitlyn Clark her own part of the website. We've been on Nike's neck as of lately. Dare I say, this actually shows some creativity? Dare I say this Caitlyn Clark is proof that you can make it from anywhere is brilliant? Let's take a look. Make it from anywhere, of course. Of course, at face value, anywhere on the court.
Why would a single advertisement reportedly send the commissioner into full-blown holiday panic? To understand that fear, you have to understand how the WNBA has always operated. For decades, this league has leaned into collective thinking. The system comes before the star. The brand comes first, equal promotion for everyone in theory, because no one player is supposed to eclipse the entire machine. It's a philosophy that sounds noble, stable, and unified. It's also a philosophy that collapses the moment a true superstar steps into the spotlight. Enter Caitlyn Clark, swinging a wrecking ball stamped with a Nike logo. This wasn't just a commercial. Felt like a movie trailer. Snow-covered scenes, cinematic visuals, cultural weight dripping from every frame. Cameos from figures so wealthy they could buy several WNBA franchises without blinking.
Caitlyn Clark's shoe is on her way. Yesterday on Christmas, Nike finally dropped a commercial featuring Caitlyn Clark and her new Nike logo. Last year, she signed an 8-year deal for $24 million with Nike, which includes a signature shoe. And then we hadn't heard anything about it for forever. Now she's finally getting a commercial showing her shoe is on the way. And while the commercial's not up to like Asia Wilson levels of fun, it's still a cute little commercial featuring shooting her signature logo 3, stating from anywhere, meaning she can shoot from anywhere. And the commercial has cute little Easter eggs featuring like her upward team from when she was a kid, her driver from where she used to practice all the
What
time.
didn't appear on screen ended up screaming louder than everything that did. No dominant league logos. No signal that this was about lifting women's basketball as a whole. The spotlight locked onto one athlete, one brand, one idea, one declaration. She doesn't move within the system. She reshapes it. And that's allegedly where the anger started to simmer. When your job is built around preserving balance, image, and control, watching a global sponsor tell the world your permission doesn't matter feels less like marketing and more like open defiance. Nike didn't just showcase Caitlyn Clark. Nike placed her above the league itself. No approval sought, no alignment meetings, no illusion of shared vision. They pressed publish and let the internet do the rest. Boardrooms filled with uncomfortable questions. And in the middle of that storm, the commissioner realized the ground had shifted. While she focused on keeping everything neatly aligned, the commercial's deliberate choices only deepened the damage. No WNBA montages, no nod to league history, no acknowledgement of legacy at all.
We've been waiting on this one. We have been waiting for Caitlyn Clark to make her return to the Kelsey Brothers New Heights podcast. She made her way back and talked about her new sneaker that's going to be dropping. They're going to be better than Jordans, better than Kobe's, all of that. All of that. I can't wait to get mine. I can't wait.
But the one thing I'm frustrated with is I think she has the worst marketing team ever. I've never seen a marketing team that allows a player to completely alienate her consumer base. Guys, I didn't watch a shoe commercial. What I watched was Nike still trying to do a diversity commercial.
Not a single visual hint suggested this superstar answered to any larger system. The ad existed entirely in Clark's personal universe. A simple driveway became a stage. Snowfall set the mood. Distance became metaphor. The message hit like a neon sign. Her reach stretches beyond arenas, beyond organizations, beyond borders. From anywhere wasn't just marketing, it was a declaration. League executives reportedly felt it slam into them like a freight train. The unspoken deal had always been clear. Sponsors and league move in sync. You lift us, we lift you. You sell, we fill seats. This ad shattered that compact entirely. Nike's loyalty wasn't to WNBA branding. It belonged to Clark. And the timing couldn't have been worse. Remember that equity-driven experiment touted as revolutionary, championed by the commissioner as the off-season solution for exposure and athlete pay. Behind closed doors, they allegedly offered Clark unprecedented cash, minimal time, the chance to headline another experimental venture. She said no.
Compensation.
Flat.
Call it a comeback. Well, kinda. It's not like Caitlyn Clark fell off or anything, but she was just absent for so much of 2025 after the huge 2024. And it seems like things are lining up for her to have a massive 2026. There's really three reasons behind that. I'll go through them one after the other. But the first reason is the Nike collab, right? We've seen the commercial. It's, I feel like, going to go down as one of those iconic spots that people will remember for a long time.
Back then, the narrative suggested she was making a misstep, turning down a chance to lift the sport, choosing comfort over duty. Then came Christmas morning, and in 30 seconds, Nike's commercial wiped that entire story off the board. The metrics were brutal. Clark's ad pulled more engagement in a single day than the rival league's full launch strategy ever managed. Exponentially more, not just a little. Numbers like that make executive presentations quietly disappear. Reality couldn't be ignored. The league didn't create Caitlyn Clark's star power. She was dragging the entire organization forward on her own. Once that hits, negotiating leverage vanishes. Big names don't work for nothing. This looked like a Super Bowl-level production, not a casual holiday drop. Every frame radiating serious investment, making the contrast painfully clear. Here sat Caitlyn Clark, the undeniable centerpiece of a marketing juggernaut, while her actual league still struggles with basic production, limited broadcasts, and salaries dwarfed by her external earnings. The ad didn't just sell products. It exposed the staggering gap between her individual value and organizational pay.
I've been patiently waiting for the Caitlyn Clark sneaker since Iowa. Honestly, we've been waiting since Iowa. I don't know what took Nike so long. Maybe she'll break it down. I feel like they should have had her signature sneaker ready to go for her rookie season. Like, it should have been ready to go. She should not have had to wait until year 3. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Y'all put the Caitlyn Clark stuff on hold because of an Asia Wilson sneaker? We know why y'all did it. Y'all didn't want outrage.
For a commissioner juggling contract talks and strategic growth, this was nightmare fuel. Suddenly, every athlete, every agent, every labor negotiator had proof that serious money existed. It just wasn't moving through league channels. Team ownership wasn't cheering either. When your most valuable asset sparks a marketing phenomenon and not a single dollar hits your books, tough questions erupt instantly. Where are our returns? Why wasn't this coordinated? Why does it feel like we're just watching while Nike cashes in? Now layer in other elite players, proven champions, decorated veterans, consistency incarnate, also sponsored by Nike and equally deserving of recognition. The gap was undeniable. Clark's ad felt like a blockbuster event. Everyone else's felt like routine assignments. Fair or not, it didn't matter. In sports, marketing, perception rules. And the perception that Nike was giving one athlete premium treatment while everyone else got the basics only poured gasoline on the fire of existing frustration.
And Nike has done that, over the generations and with some of their athletes. But we saw that launch on Christmas Day, which lets you know that the arrival of the shoes and the other things are imminent. The merch, obviously, is already out there and available. The message there, you can make it from anywhere. You see New Heights, which she was back on. Well, I'll play you some of that in just a second. But you got all of this snowballing. And when that shoe arrives and all of this stuff drops in the spring, heading into the 2026 WNBA season, that only puts her back on.
I get it.
For the commissioner.
Seasoned competitors who had carried the league on their shoulders for years watched a first-year player receive marketing treatment usually reserved for all-time legends. Bitterness doesn't need logic. It thrives on visible inequality. The commissioner had already spent 2 seasons trying to keep stability intact. managing tricky contracts, monitoring acquisitions, navigating social media battles. The league was already teetering on a knife's edge between healthy competition and total chaos. This commercial didn't just shake that balance, it obliterated it. From that moment, every hard foul gets scrutinized, every rivalry tinged with envy, every assertive play feeding narratives of favoritism and disrespect. When basketball becomes social commentary, the game itself suffers. And Nike went even further, no nods to history, no tributes to trailblazers, no ceremonial respect for legacy. This ad bypassed tradition entirely. No approval sought, no waiting for league blessing. Clark was placed alongside international male superstars, daring anyone to challenge the comparison. For loyal fans and retired players who revere customs, it felt like outright dismissal.
Outside of her coach, none of these people are the people who root for Caitlyn Clark. And y'all remember, I've said on previous videos, Angel Reese may not be the basketball player that Caitlyn Clark is, but Angel Reese's marketing team does something very well, and that is catering to and maximizing her base. We all know who watch Caitlyn Clark, guys. It's a conservative male audience, and Nike wants nothing to do with that. And when I saw that commercial
For the commissioner,
yesterday,
a new, impossible diplomatic headache appeared. How do you preserve veteran loyalty when the league's future is being marketed as completely separate from its own foundation? Then came the personal layer, the lingering comment about gratitude, intended as a power move, now aging poorly as the situation flipped. This commercial answered it perfectly. Without a single word, it made clear, Caitlyn Clark owes nobody anything. Her value exists on its own. She draws audiences, locks in sponsorships, commands attention, and that imbalance rattles the system. Once the question shifts from whether an athlete fits the league to whether the league deserves the athlete, everything changes. Suddenly, independent ventures don't seem reckless, they seem brilliant. When a 30-second spot outperforms entire organizational campaigns, just imagine what tours, international exhibitions, or sponsor-backed alternatives could achieve. Nike gets it. Amazon gets it. Media conglomerates get it. The commissioner gets it too, which is why the reported anger felt so intense. Anger is easier than admitting vulnerability. Even as the international angle sharpened the sting, global superstar status, worldwide recognition, fans quickly realized they couldn't access the advertised products. Social media erupted. Confusion morphed into outrage, and the commissioner found herself trying to manage a system never built for this level of individual star power. The real irony? The commercial didn't create the problem, it revealed it. The fury wasn't about shoes. It was about losing control of the narrative, about transformation arriving early and without permission. Christmas morning was supposed to be calm. Instead, it broadcasted the year's most potent message. The league can champion collective success forever, but the audience has already picked its favorite. Once that choice is made, no holiday cheer can undo it. The harsh truth: the league now reacts to momentum instead of creating it. Every decision becomes damage control. Every statement sounds defensive. Every attempt to refocus on the team feels like unwanted correction. The system was built to distribute attention evenly, not to contain this kind of gravitational pull. So the anger made perfect sense. It was acknowledgement. Influence had shifted, old strategies no longer worked, and women's basketball's next chapter might not wait politely for organizational approval. When one ad can reshape power overnight, the silence that follows isn't peace. It's panic.